All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to 6 years later German culture shocks that now feel normal. Let's jump in.
What do you mean the grocery stores here aren't open on Sunday?
Huh?
Hi, my name is Steph, and I'm an American that's been living in Berlin, Germany for the last 6.5 years. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the culture shocks that I first experienced when I moved here, and how they are no longer shocking to me. If you've just moved here, or maybe you're thinking of moving here from the US, you might want to watch this video just in case there are no surprises, or maybe fewer surprises. I'm just trying to manage expectations. Okay, let's start. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, grocery stores here are closed on Sundays, and this was a huge shock to me. Typically in the US, I would go grocery shopping on Sundays. I didn't really have time on Mondays after work. I was tired. So Sunday was pretty much my grocery shopping day. So the first Sunday that I was here, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go buy my groceries. When I saw that the stores here were closed, I was appalled. I was like, I'm gonna starve in the next 24 hours. What do I do? Then I realized, oh, I guess I'll be fine. It's one day. You gotta chill out. I believe that everything is closed on Sundays due to religious reasons. However, I think it's also in the Constitution that stores have to be closed on Sunday.
Really? In the Constitution, German Constitution, that some store need to be closed on Sunday? That's a stretch. That's a real stretch. I don't know. You guys have to let me know in the comment section below. The religion reason makes more sense. The religion reason makes more sense because Germany used to be very religious, like any other European country, and Sunday used to be like a day for relaxing, no work, and just go to church. So let me know if she's wrong or right. I don't know.
Because everyone needs a day of rest, and Germans take their rest very seriously. Now that I've been here for so long, I actually kind of appreciate having this day of rest. It's a nice reminder that you don't have to be doing something all the time. Here in Germany, that's kind of what Sundays are for. Now I kind of embrace it and appreciate it, and I have now learned to plan better for my grocery shopping schedule. Let's move on to the next one. The next one also has to do with German grocery stores and just shopping and consumption in general. In Germany, they don't have bulk stores. No Costco, no BJ's Wholesale Club. They don't have any of that here.
But they have Aldi, right? A bulk store like Sam's Club. All right. Costco. Yeah. I understand. Okay. Yeah, I see.
At first, I was like, oh, I mean, it would be nice to buy a year's worth of toilet paper, but I guess it doesn't really make sense. After living outside of the US for so long, I've kind of realized that we do have the tendency to overconsume and buy too much, especially when it comes to bulk items. But here, there's not really that possibility. Germans are really conscious about how they consume, and they don't like to buy anything if it's not necessary, which is something I really appreciate and have kind of tried to adapt more into my lifestyle.
That's very good, actually.
A culture shock that
that's a very good trait.
Appreciate more and more as time goes on. Just buy what you need. This next one is something that you will absolutely experience if you move to Germany, and I think it might frustrate you a little bit in the beginning. German bureaucracy. Everyone's favorite subject here, right? The German bureaucracy here is no joke. I was so frustrated at first, and I really didn't understand, why is it like this? Why must it be XYZ? It's just a lot of pressure. Now, after being here for so long, I've come to accept that that's just how it is here. If you want to stay here long term and try to integrate, then you just have to deal with it. Sometimes I still get frustrated by it, but I also know that these systems are in place for a reason. That's just how this country works, and you kind of have to accept it. Germans just get stuff done that way.
Yeah, but even some Germans are saying that the bureaucracy is just holding them back a little bit for just integrating some of the new technologies out there. So, I mean, it might be a cultural thing, guys. Don't get me wrong. It might be a cultural thing. It might be that Germans do like to... I don't know, guys. You guys have to let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you guys do like bureaucracy. I don't know. Let me know.
With lots of paperwork that's printed out, fine. They are slowly moving towards digitization, which I'm very happy about, but you know, these things take time. So you really have to be patient when you are encountering German bureaucracy. And honestly, just laugh about it because that's all you can do sometimes. Speaking of bureaucratic paperwork, what do you do when you have a lot of paper and you need to throw it out? You don't just throw it in with the rest of your trash. This is the next culture shock that I had when I first moved to Germany. Separating your trash. There is such a system for it, let me tell you. You can't just put everything in one container. No, absolutely not. You have to put the plastic separate from the paper, separate from the glass, separate from the organic waste.
I like that. So basically you have glass, you have plastic, and you have paper. So you have to have four. Actually, then you have regular trash, right? No?
For Biomüll. This was such an adjustment for me. In the US, we also have garbage disposals where you can just toss in food scraps and turn on a switch and it grinds everything up. But having a garbage disposal in Germany is actually illegal. I mean, it makes sense.
Wow, really?
A garbage disposal in Germany is actually illegal. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it could be really dangerous for little kids who accidentally stick their hands in there, or adults for that matter. So I kind of get why they don't have it here. But anyway, back to sorting the garbage. Within most, or I would say all apartment buildings, they have separate bins for all the things. So there's one for general waste, there's ones for organic waste, plastic, and you also have to make sure that even after you separate your glass, you have to separate the glass colors. There are often on the streets these glass containers where you can toss glass that is no longer needed, but you have to separate it by color. There's white glass, green glass, and brown glass.
And this is good for society. You see, this creates, I don't know, I have a theory on this, and I think this creates organized society. It looks stupid, it looks naive, but this actually, in my opinion, creates a very organized society, guys. Because you're training yourself to be organized. You train yourself to be deliberately organized. So in your private life, you become organized. Right? The greens go with the greens. The whites go with the whites. Organized. Everything's organized.
If you don't sort your trash correctly in your building, you could get a fine. Make sure that you definitely separate your trash in the right way. Another culture shock that I experienced when I first moved here is now something that I love dearly, and that's Sprudelwasser, or sparkling water.
I love sparkling water. They're cheap.
When I first moved here,
Aldi has the cheapest. You can get 12 cans for only $3.48. So they have the best for me, my opinion.
I did not like sparkling water at all. It always tasted kind of funny to me. And I was all about that American still ice water. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Here, it's not a thing. You can go into a cafe here and sometimes, or I would say most of the times, at least in Berlin, they have tap water. The default that Germans typically ask for is sparkling water. I even found out that Germans also start drinking water that's sparkling as babies or kids. Not necessarily that they drink it out of a bottle like this, but a lot of people have carbonators in their homes so that they can add carbonation to tap water.
Really? Wow.
Some people told me that they never knew a time where they only drank still water. It was always sparkling, which is so crazy to me. In the US, sparkling water is kind of looked at as something fancy, like you'd get it if you go out to a nice dinner, but no, here it is the default. As
really
I said
fancy?
initially,
It may be fancy, I don't know. I just get mine from, I show you mine multiple times, guys, even in some of the videos I just made. Maybe I live in a different time zone, twilight zone, I don't know.
I didn't really like the sparkling water, but now I love it. Like, this is what I would go for first over still water. I have to say, most of my American friends here haven't adjusted to it, or they just still prefer still water over sparkling water, but not me. I'm a full Sprudelwasser girly. You're not supposed to cheers with water, are you? While we're on the topic of German obsessions, let's move on to the next culture shock. Spargel season. You might not know what I'm talking about. Germans are obsessed with Spargel, aka white asparagus. You bring up Spargel to a German and they start waxing poetic about it. Like, it is the most amazing thing in the world.
It's
Honestly,
true. We reacted.
I don't get it.
Yeah, we reacted to multiple videos about the white asparagus, and it's like one of their main sources of food, I guess.
I've tried it before. I think it's fine, but they will talk to you about how it's grown and how it's so incredible and the process of it, and it's like this miracle vegetable from the ground. I don't really know. I'm still like trying to understand it, but to each their own. Maybe I haven't tried the right white asparagus dish. So if anyone knows any places in Berlin that I can try Spargel during Spargel season, please let me know, because I am willing to be proven wrong that Spargel is actually better than green asparagus. Up till now, I still prefer the green. Speaking of being green, what a terrible transition. Everyone here bikes. This is gonna sound very ignorant of me, but I didn't spend that much time in Europe before moving here, and I always thought that the place to bike was the Netherlands. Everyone in Berlin also have bikes. I guess that's something that I didn't really realize when I first moved here. People here love to bike. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if this is not exactly a thing in other cities. I can imagine in smaller towns or cities that maybe it's not as popular, but here, like, it's definitely a thing. It's life-changing. Not only is it more eco-friendly, but
healthy.
I just prefer being on my bike so much more than
Yeah,
being in the Uber.
it's just healthy, man. It just promote healthiness. And guess what? Less diseases. Less diseases. I personally think we should promote this more in the United States. Like bike rides. Go to your work, your job. It's just a lot of these jobs are kind of far away, but spend some time with the family. Where I live, a lot of families, they do go bike ride with their kids, right? I think that's phenomenal. But I think we should be seeing more, right? More of that.
It's more comfortable. I get fresh air. It's faster to get from point A to point B. It's just a nicer feeling, you know? Now it's something that I just absolutely love and totally embrace as part of my lifestyle. And finally, moving on to the last culture shock, which is still kind of a shock to me. When people move to a new apartment here, they sometimes have to build their own kitchens. And if they are not building a brand new kitchen, they can take their old kitchen from their previous apartment and reinstall it into their new flat. When I moved into my current apartment, I had to build my whole kitchen by myself, or I paid someone from IKEA to do it because I don't do that. In a way, it's kind of nice because I could design it how I wanted to, but then the thought of if I ever have to move again, I don't know if I would move this kitchen with me. You know, what if the measurements of the next place are not the same? It's kind of crazy to me to think that people just kind of cut their kitchen from their current place and then paste it into their new place. It's a lot of effort, and it also seems like, I don't know, would you save that much money? Who knows? Who am I to judge? Like, this is just how it is here. Moving to Germany came with a lot of culture shocks initially, but honestly, I've learned to love it. There's definitely still things that frustrate me, but
I think
in the end,
I think it has its pros and cons, but I think there's a lot of pros, P-R-O-S, pros, a lot of pros, yeah, against cons, yeah. So there's a lot of good things. I still believe the riding the bike it will genuinely, it will just reduce a lot of diseases, guys. Secondly, the sparkling water, good too. It just reduces the appetite. The recycling aspect, and I think my hypothesis on this might be very close to the truth, that having these kind of regulations does contribute. We don't have to make a law about this. They made a law about this, but we don't have to. You're promoting this. Hey, have different recycled bins in your house that can separate the paper, the regular trash, plastic, and so on and so forth. And that way you create a better organized society. I do believe that. But again, guys, I might be wrong on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like always, guys, I'll see you in the next one.